Oh, we already have some people coming in. It's for you guys, new to Path of Exile. Talamuana Exiles. This is Drop It. And for you, I have things you must know if you're gonna play Path of Exile 2 for free this weekend. Path of Exile is a really hard game. It will test you and your skills, how you use all the mechanics in the game. So here's some good things that you should know jumping fresh into the game. The new running mechanic. It's very rippy. If you get hit while running, you will get knocked down and probably die. They said stop the sprint by using an ability to engage the enemies. So sprinting will be very good for disengaging when you fight dangerous enemies or just getting around the acts very fast. Dodge roll. Also another very important mechanic. Use it as often as possible where it makes sense, right? So during boss fights, they have some really strong attacks and you want to dodge them, especially the ones when they light up red. That's when they charge their super attack. You can't block that, you want to dodge that. And dodge roll won't work on AoE, so if you dodge roll in a big AoE circle attack, you will still get hit. So make sure you use dodge roll to roll out of that ring. Defense is very important in Path of Exile. So you have your resistances. In the picture there on the right, you can see fire, cold, lightning, chaos. You basically want to have that pretty high. Also your life, because you can't get life on the passive skill tree. You want to make sure you have life and resistances on your gear. Movement speed is king. Now why? Because movement speed helps you not only to get around faster, it also helps you as a layer of defense. Remember what I said, you can't dodge roll AoE attacks, so you want to have movement speed to be able to get out of those rings faster. It can also help you to dodge linear attacks when the enemy launches maybe a spear straight forward or when there's like an arrow coming in from an enemy attacking. So it's really good to have, but make sure you have movement speed on your boots. It's like mandatory. When stuck, you will get stuck in the game a lot. You will face weird hard bosses, maybe some zones that are really rippy and high of enemies. But when you do get stuck in those areas, make sure that you farm and farm again. When you enter a new zone, you can actually control left click that zone to open it again. You can farm the same zone over and over again. So if you're stuck, go back to the past zone where you could clear things pretty easily and where there's a nice amount of mob density. You can just run them through, get some levels and get back into the new zones. Also, when you explore the acts, you can see here on the picture I've circulated some like quest things you can do. The skulls and the chests, do those side quests when you get stuck, because they often reward you with like really good items, and they also give you XP so you can level up, get stronger, get back into the fight. And also the icons with a plus, as you can see down here, you have the plus icon next to the skull. The plus marks that it's a permanent reward. Permanent rewards could be, like in this case, plus 10 to cold resistances, or plus to health, or something else. These are mandatory. Do these, do not skip on these, they're very good. Talk about vendors. Vendors are really important in Path of Exile because they can give you some really nice gear. The vendors reset their inventory every time you level up, so make sure you check them regularly. Don't always have to check them on when you level up, but if you do, you can sometimes find some really nutty items, especially ones that you can see in the picture here, +1 level of all chaos spell skills. So plus to skills are really good. Also, they're a gambling vendor. Now, gambling vendor I wouldn't recommend if you are low on gold, but if you have a lot of gold to spend, sure, go ahead, go to the gambling vendor, gamble for some gear. Sometimes you can get some really good rare gear actually from the gambler. Identifying gear. I've tested this on stream, and sometimes gear sells for less when you identify them, and sometimes they sell for a lot more. Oftentimes they sell for a lot more, so make sure you identify your gear before you're selling them. You can identify gear by either using the identifying scrolls, although it's a bit expensive, I wouldn't recommend that. What I would recommend is use the NPC, the hooded one, that you unlock in around, I think, Act 1 or 2. That guy he's basically the Deckard Cain from Diablo 2, if you know. He identifies your items. So make sure to use him a lot when you go back to town. Identify your gear, check them out, sell the ones that are bad, maybe craft the ones that are good. Crafting currencies. Ooh, these are spicy ones. Okay, so in Path of Exile you have a lot of currencies, and with the currencies you actually craft your items with. And there are a lot more than ones that you see on screen, but for new players, let's keep it simple, right? We keep the most important and the currency you encounter early here on the screen. So, let's go through one on one. Transmutation Orb. This one upgrades your normal item into a magic item with one modifier. Yeah, white items have base stats, and then when you use a Transmutation Orb, you upgrade that normal item into a magic item, getting one additional modifier, a suffix or a prefix. This could be +2 health, attack speed, resistances, armor, it could be whatever. And then we have the Augmentation Orb. This can only be used on magic items. And when you do use it on a magic item, you will give it an additional random modifier. And then Regal Orbs. This one upgrades a magic item into a rare item with one additional modifier. See the pattern here? Normal to magic, magic to magic extra, and then magic to rare. And each of those steps gives one extra modifier. Now we have a special one, the Alchemy Orb. This one upgrades a normal item into a rare item with 4 modifiers. So you just skip that middle magic step and just get 4 extra straight up. Pretty good. If you find this one, I recommend only using on an item with good bases. For example, if you're a mage and you know that you want some mana regen or maybe cast speed, you want a base item with modifiers that maybe gives you mana or cast speed. That would be a good item to use this Alchemy Orb on to get some nice modifying stats. Exalted Orb. Exalted Orb is king. I call it the king of currencies. Often trade with actually in the future when you get later the game stages. So this one augments a rare item with a new random modifier. And you can use it, I think, to give it up to 6 modifiers. When you get to the rare stage, item has 3 modifiers. Then you can use Exalted Orb 3 more times to make it a rare item with 6 total modifiers. Really good, really rare. So use them when you must. Then we have Divine Orb. Divine Orb is not commonly used in the game early. It's more commonly used as a trading currency. Here's what it does. It randomizes the value of the modified item. So it just throws the numbers around. So if you have some good item with really low rolled numbers, and if you have an item with really bad roll, you can use Divine Orb to reroll that and maybe get something better. Some tips around crafting currency. Use them to grow stronger. Don't save the currencies. Because in this update, they've actually introduced currency tiers. So there's no use in saving currency in the early game, because you will get higher tier currency later. Greater and perfect currency items add mods with a guaranteed minimum level. Jeweler's Orb. In Path of Exile, we have skills in skill gems, and each skill gem has 2 slots for support gem that you can use on the skill to make it more powerful, give it certain effects. And in order to increase these slots for support gems, we need what's called a Jeweler's Orb. Now we want to use these on the main skill first. Main skills being like the skills that deals the most damage for us. In order to increase this one, you need to use the Lesser Jeweler's Orb. And then when you have 3 and want to upgrade more, then you have to find a Greater Jeweler's Orb. Flasks. Flask is like your main source to regen, mana, and health. There's also health and mana regen in the game, but for mostly you're gonna use these flasks. Keep them upgraded, and you upgrade them by either finding them from drops, or you can buy them from the vendors. Charms in your inventory tab, you can find the charm slots down here. Usually you only have 1 to begin with, but you can unlock more further into the game when you find maybe belts with more charm slots. So what they do is that they're automatically triggered when you basically take damage from a certain source. If you see this ruby charm, it gives you 25 fire resistance when you take fire damage on hit. This one have 80 charges and use 40 on use. So basically you can use this 2 times until you have to recharge it. And charges, you gain charges on flasks and these charms by killing enemies. Or you can also get a modifier if you're lucky that regens over time. And a pro tip with these charms, if you find yourself stuck at a boss and you see that the boss uses like primarily fire damage or maybe ice damage, like in Act 1 there's a lot of enemies using ice damage, you can maybe use the ice charm so that you get more cold resistance when fighting that enemy. Otherwise, I usually just use the stone charm because getting stunned stun prevention is usually really good. Whew, boy, it's a lot of text, but bear with me. Salvaging and disenchanting. So in Act 1 you will find a or a salvage bench, maybe you call it, and in that bench, when you either don't want to sell the item that you have, you want to salvage it. This is when you want to salvage an item instead of selling it. So disenchanting magic items will reward you components that eventually build up into a transmutation orb. This thing. Remember, this thing you use on a normal item to upgrade it to a magic item with a modifier. And then disenchanting rare items will accumulate parts that will build up into a regal orb. And regal orb is taking a magic item, making it into a rare item and adding a modifier. And then you can also salvage items and weapons with quality. So here you have an example of a gear with quality. It will say plus quality. Often also have like greater or superior in the name before it. Salvaging quality will give you components that will build up into a armor scrap or maybe a blacksmith whetstone. These currencies you can use on armor and weapons to increase their quality, and increasing their quality will make like weapons deal more base damage and then armor give more armor. Items with sockets you can disenchant to get Artificer's Orb. And Artificer's Orb is a currency you basically put on an item and you will get a socket. And sockets are really good to put your runes into. It can help you with resistances if you're lacking in any. Some gear and their bases. In Path of Exile we have 3 main bases: Dexterity, Intelligence and Strength. And depending on the class you're going, they do lean into one or the other. And so different ones will make you be able to equip different kinds of armor. So Strength often makes your character want to bear a lot of armor. So Strength attribute will make you able to equip plates. Intelligence will get you robe and raiment, and vest for dexterity. You can share traits. So Strength and Dex will get you mails and mantles for intelligence strength, etc. Strength mostly gives you health and armor. Dexterity gives you more evasion, and intelligence mostly helps you with energy shield gear. And then we have the passive skill tree. It's a really scary picture. Behind these colors there are a bunch of nodes and whatever. Don't get discouraged yet. Let's focus on the important thing here. Whatever class you're going, Shadow Monk class that has a lot of intelligence, you want to go upwards. So that would be the Witch and Sorceress. They wanna branch upwards in the passive skill tree. If you go Monk, for example, you usually build a lot of intelligence and dexterity as your main attributes. You go on the top right here, and etc. for the other classes. You go into a slot. So if you play a sorceress or a witch for the first time, you usually don't really care what's all around here in the skill tree, because you will branch upwards. Your main skills that will help you get stronger and progress into the game will be here in this area upwards. And it's also shown in the game. When you open up your passive skill tree for the first time and gonna pick skill points, you actually see that you start in this area if you're a witch. If you're a monk, you will start here on the top right area. So depending on where you start, you want to branch out in that direction, generally. And yes, of course, when you get more advanced, you know, you're not a new player anymore, you can have fun, go build weird builds and go whatever you want to go. Now, Path of Exile is in the end a game. And a game is supposed to be fun. You must have fun playing the game, right? And there's 2 directions you can go playing this game. Either you go for the handheld experience, or you go for the trial and error experience if you're a new player. So, what this means is handheld experience, you usually follow a build guide. So you have a build that you follow, you usually don't need to worry about much. These passive skill points will be outplaced for you, so you just follow that. You just, oh, okay, this guy goes here, I just follow that, bam, bam, bam. And you can find builds here on Max Roll. I'll give a link. They have some pretty good builds if you don't want to download a third-party application. Professional players use something called POB, where you have like a path of building. This is where you make like build plans and everything like that. But this is for the advanced players. So this is the handheld experience. If you just want to chill, take it chill, enjoy the game, and have some, you know, a helping hand around stuff. Or if you're like me, who sometimes enjoy pain, trial and error, you can go that route, go in blind. Just play the game, have fun, trial and error. What this means though is that you will face a lot of walls. Walls that will be hard to punch through. You will get stuck a lot, and sometimes it won't be obvious how to get unstuck. But if you're patient, play for fun, accept that sometimes the game will be hard and just progress through, the reward is so nice. It's so nice, you know, getting stuck in a hurdle and then find yourself a way out of there. It's so satisfying. And that is why I love the trial and error way of playing this game. I do my thing, I do my own build, it didn't work. Whoops, not the end of the world. You can always respec with gold in your passive skill tree. It's never over, guys, so don't be afraid to make mistake. If you go trial and error route, you can always save yourself. And then some last tips. When you've played this early access, you thought it was a freaking blast, you want to play more Path of Exile, you want to go, then make sure that the free points that you get when you purchase into the early access, you get like 300 points, in-game currency as well when you get the key to play the game. Make sure that you buy stash tabs. The stash tabs is not mandatory, but it will make your gaming experience so much better and so much easier. The number one stash tab I highly recommend to get, no matter what, is the currency stash tab, because you will get involved with currency 24/7 in the game, and having a specific tab that can hold like almost unlimited amount of these currencies and you can put them out here neatly is a huge game changer. Save the other currency and play the game, and after a while, when you play the game a lot, you will start to have a feel of, what do I need next? What do I want next? Oh, I'm in the late game, I play a lot of maps. Oh, I want the map stash tab, so I can have my maps all neatly and I can see which one I've done and which one I need to do, etc, etc. Or, oh, I like to use some other currency in the game, and there's a stash tab for that specific other currency, like essences. Oh, I want to get the essences tab to play around with essences more easily and gather them and whatever. Currency stash tab, mandatory. Get it. Get it with your free points, and then save some points for whatever else you need down the line. Thank you for watching. This has been Drop It. And remember, happy gaming.